Welcome to part 3 of Joseph of Egypt. In Genesis 45, we see that Joseph's brothers have come to Egypt several times to get food and go back to Canaan and feed their families and feed their father. But on this time, Joseph just couldn't take it anymore, keeping this secret about who he really was. So he goes on and he tells his brothers who he is, that he's Joseph, that he's their brother. And it's hard for them to believe at first because they didn't think it was any kind of way they could go from being a slave, starting off in a pit, sold into slavery, not seen for years, and all of a sudden pop up here and he's the ruler of Egypt. But when God puts his hand on somebody, it's no stopping them. There's no limit to how high they can go. So they greet their brother and he hugs them. He, kisses his brother Benjamin, and they cry on each other's shoulders and they have their reunion. And Joseph says, "Our father, he's good, right? He's back in Canaan." And they say, yeah, he's good. He's just waiting for us. And Joseph tells them, "Go home and bring my father to me. Pack up your families, get all your stuff, get your cattle, get whatever, grains and, things that you guys have. Bring it all here. And, you're going to live here with me from now on." So they go back home and they tell their father that Joseph was this overseer, this ruler that spoke harshly to him before, and he's there and he wants us to come back. And at first, Jacob couldn't believe it. And he's wondering, how in the world could this be? You guys had all these stories about what happened to your brother. Now he's in Egypt. He's the ruler. He couldn't believe it. But eventually, he packs up all they had, gets their cattle together, gets whatever grains and foods and seeds and almonds and things they had before, packs all that stuff up, gets their families, which all the brothers pretty much had families, wives and kids and everything, packed everybody up, and they head to Egypt. When they get there, of course, Joseph is so happy to see his father, and his father, they hug and they embrace, and his father's just looking at him like, "Wow, I can't believe you're here. I can't believe who you are while you're here." And Joseph is happy to see him. He takes him to go meet Pharaoh, and even Pharaoh embraces him like family. Ask him, "How old are you? How have your days been?" And Jacob tells him, "I'm 130 years old, and man, some of my times have been hard." And Pharaoh tells him, basically, hopefully here, things can be better for you. And it's because of Joseph, because the anointing that Joseph had on his life, favor just follows him everywhere. And now it's spilling out and pouring out onto his family. Pharaoh tells Joseph, "Get your brothers, put them out there on some land, whatever their jobs are, not just go and give them jobs doing that, but make them rulers and overseers over those jobs that they used to do. Whatever their profession is, I want them out in Egypt being the ruler and overseer of those professions over my people." Even though they had did wrong in the past, because of the anointing and favor on Joseph's life, even their brothers who had done so much wrong to him, they still get to reap the blessings and the benefits of Joseph just doing what he was led to do, because he was being, faithful over what God had given him. The blessings poured out over his family. And after some time had passed, the people of Egypt began to come over to the palace again for more food and saying, "Let us buy more food. We need more food." And after they had purchased more food, they come back again and they say, "Okay, we're pretty much out of money because the prices of everything is so high. Our money has failed. We don't have anything else. We don't have any more money." And Joseph tells the people of Egypt, "Okay, well, give me whatever cattle you have, give me whatever other supplies that you have. I'll take that and I'll give you food so you can survive a while longer." So they do that and they go back to their towns, they go back to their homes. Of course, after a while, they have to come back and they say, we don't have any more money. We don't have any more cattle. We don't have any more possessions because we traded it all to you before for food. Now what can we do? Joseph, being the wise ruler that he is, he said, "Okay, well, you can now serve Pharaoh. You can come closer, you can work here, you'll be our servants. And everything that you owned before, your lands and everything, now belong to Egypt. They belong to Pharaoh now. But you can still live there. You can work the fields. You can do whatever you used to do. But now you do it for Pharaoh. And he's going to collect a fifth part of whatever you produce is now going to belong to Pharaoh. So as time is going on, even though there's a famine in the land, Joseph is seeing each opportunity that comes up, and he's constantly increasing Pharaoh's worth, increasing his value. It's kind of like the story of the master who had the 3 talents, and he was going out of town, and he gave talents to 3 of his servants, and each 3 did something kind of different with the talents, including one just burying them and not doing anything and coming back and saying, hey, look, I didn't lose any of your money. I just buried it, and now here you go. And the best servant had invested wisely and gave the master back way more than what he had been holding on to. This is just like Joseph being ruler and overseer. Even when the economy and everything is going down, with Joseph's preparations, he was able to take advantage of all the opportunities that came his way, including still feeding the people of Egypt and acquiring more land and acquiring more servants for Pharaoh in this time of famine. So he's just, doing everything he can do to just increase the wealth of the land and do good for his master, which is Pharaoh. It's kind of like what we should be doing now. We're all stuck in the house. We got this coronavirus thing going on. The stock market's been all over the place. But there's opportunities for us to jump into some of the things that we should have been studying up on, sharpening our skills. If there's any business opportunities that opened up, this is the time. This is the time to make that financial investment, whether it's in the market or buying equipment for our businesses or whatever it is. This is the time now to start acquiring, bringing things in while the prices are low. Just like Joseph, he was able to get everybody's first their money, then their cattle, then their land, then their service.